joining me again today. Today I wanted to do another really quick process video, and for this one here I wanted to work with the Cool Treat stamp set and dies. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about when you first get in a suite of products. I know I feel very overwhelmed. You know, you have all these great new products that come to your doorstep. You have the stamp set, dies, papers, embellishments. What do you do with it? When I first get in these products, I sometimes feel, you know, oh, I could use that embossing folder. I could use these colors. I could use these dies. I could do this. And the first thing that I really need to do is keep it simple. Until I get familiar with the products, I find the best way to get going is that if I also get the designer series paper with the products, I take a look at the package, and I'm sure a lot of you who've been getting Stampin' Up products do know this, but for those of you who don't, they have a label on the outside of the package, and it lists out the coordinating colors. So for the Cool Treats here, it's the Tasty Treats, it's the Chocolate Chip, Crumb Cake, Pear Pizzazz, Peekaboo Peach, Pool Party, Watermelon Wonder, and Whisper White. So the first thing I do is I pull those ink pads from my supplies, and I lay everything out. I get the stamps out, and I play with them. I see what they can do. I combine them together, especially the ones with the two-step stamping, is I want to see how they work together, which sets look better stamping on, stamping off, and I just want to see what I can come up with. Doesn't mean I always stick with those colors, but that's my go-to. That's how I begin. Once I get a little more familiar with how the products work, then I branch off into, yes, these color combinations could look good together, or I'll start pulling out additional embossing folders or dies. But this at least narrows down the starting point for me. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I know sometimes I just sit there looking at it. I have no clue where to begin. And, you know, lots of times I don't even crack into my paper because I don't want to cut it up. But doing it this way encourages me to use it. That's what it's there for. That's why you bought it. You want to make cards with it. So the card, oh, I just dropped everything. Okay, so the card I want to make here today is actually a really quick card, and it's using these popsicle stamp sets and dies. So I'm going to leave the card up here so we can see what we're working with. And as I already showed you, here's the stamp set. So as I'm sure a lot of you know, the Tasty Treats paper is actually on the retiring list. So you're not going to be able to get any of the designer series paper that I'm going to be working with here today, unfortunately. But the stamp set and dies, I believe, will be available. So the first thing we're going to do here is I have a piece of Watermelon Wonder, and same thing with the cardstock. Once again, this is going to be one of the retiring in colors, because we have a brand new set of 5 new colors starting in June. And to start with, I took I believe this is the Sparkle embossing folder. Let me grab it here. Yeah, so I started with the Sparkle embossing folder, and I embossed the front half of my card. So all I did to do this was I inserted the front of my card, and I put it through the Big Shot this way, okay? Now I should also mention that all of the dimensions, my list of supplies and everything I'm going to use here today are going to be listed on my blog, which is Random Jumble of Scraps at blogspot.ca, and also my Facebook page, which is Random Jumble of Scraps. Okay, so if you search for them, you should be able to find them. Okay, so I'm going to grab my card base here. Now I've taken a piece of the designer series paper. This is the popsicle paper here. And I'm going to attach that to my card front. Okay. I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch, so I don't want it all the way flushed. Okay. Now what I've done is I've also used with this set the stitched shapes, and I've used the second largest oval, okay, and the largest square in the set. Now these are going to be coming out in the annual catalog. They did a release, like a quick early release back in the fall, and I picked them up because I thought that they were really great and versatile. I'll do a close-up here. I don't know. See if you can see that. Maybe on the white. So it gives a really nice finish around the edge of your die cut pieces. There we go. So it's a really nice subtle touch, and I think it adds a lot. So we're going to attach our square. I'm going to attach it a little bit closer to the bottom, and we're going to try to go for centered. Okay. Now we're going to do some stamping. So the first thing is I'm going to get my sentiment out of the way, and here's a look at the ink colors I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using Crumb Cake, Pear Pizzazz, Peekaboo Peach, Pool Party, and Chocolate Chip. So the sentiment I decided to go with was Happiest Birthday, and I'm going to stamp that in my chocolate chip, and I'm going to put that right at the bottom of my square here. So let me get my block. I'm going to ink that up nice, and we're going to put it right down here at the bottom. Okay. No, that didn't stamp the way it is. Let's see if we can get that back on there. There we go. Happiest Birthday. And we're going to put that aside, and that's it for that color, so we'll put that away. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull out my foam pad. Since I am working with the photopolymer, it does give a nicer finished image. And I'm going to grab my stamps. So the first one I'm going to start with is I'm going to grab my Pool Party ink pad. And we're going to ink up the solid image of the popsicle. And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to stamp off and then stamp my base down. Then I'm going to grab my stripes and I'm going to put those right over top. Now, for those of you who haven't worked with this set yet, it's relatively easy because it's the photopolymer to line them up. But also to keep in mind is that the dies cut smaller than the stamped image. So if you're a little bit off on your stamping, you're actually not going to notice it. And I'll show you afterwards. We'll compare the cut images to this full stamp size, and you'll see the big difference. So what I'm doing here now is I want to clean off my stamps because we're going to switch ink colors here. And we'll put our Pool Party away. I'm going to grab my Peekaboo Peach ink pad and solid image, stamp off. There we go. And my stripies. Do you ever find that your stamps and supplies go missing when you're working? There we go. That one was actually really good. Clean them off. Okay. And we'll put away our Peekaboo Peach. And then our last color we're going to be working with is the Pear Pizzazz. Once again, we're going to stamp the first layer off. Grab another sketch. There we go. And then full strength with our stripes. There. Okay, so we'll put those aside. To finish up our popsicles, we got to add our little popsicle sticks. So I have my small stamp here, and I'm going to be using the Crumb Cake ink pad. And we're just going to stamp these on with full strength, and we're going to try to center them. It would help if your stick attached to your popsicle. I'm just saying it would help. These ones I stamped too close together, but you get the idea. Okay, and what I've done to speed things along is I've actually already die cut out my popsicles. So this, I can actually show you here. We'll do a different color. So this is what I was talking about. When you use the die set and you cut out your popsicle, you're actually going to be cutting out, it's going to cut out smaller than your stamped image. So if your lines are a bit off, you're actually not going to notice it because it's going to stamp inside. And the die I used for the popsicles, those are frames. So this is the die set here, and this is the Frozen Treats framelits as I used the little popsicle. Okay. So I find that really handy that it cuts out smaller. It takes away a little bit of that worry. So we'll put all of those aside. We're going to grab the oval that we die cut out, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And we're going to put that in the center of our card. Okay. And then for our pool party and pear pizzazz popsicle. Okay, and then I'm going to take my center popsicle in the Peekaboo Peach, and I'm going to just pop it up on some dimensionals. Okay, and we'll take the back off and pop it up right in the center there. Now, to finish off the popsicles, all I did was added some Wink of Stella to them, make them a little shiny. I think it adds a great finish. Okay, let's just get them on here. Sorry, my video kept cutting out. I have no idea why. Okay, so here's the finished card. So it's really quick and simple. I love this set, especially, you know, for kids' birthday cards. It's bright, it's colorful. What kid doesn't love popsicles and ice cream? I'm going to be trying to do another process video here next week. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I noticed I had a couple new subscribers, and thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that as well, definitely. And if you'd like to follow along with everything that I'm doing, like I said earlier, I have a blog, Jumble of Scraps, at blogspot.ca, or you can always find me on Facebook. And once again, that's Random Jumble of Scraps. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to post another video next week. Have a great day. Bye.